and welcome to Sorry You're a Lot, Season 2, Episode 2. And today we're talking about making friends as an adult.
Dun, dun, dun. And we're coming from a extroverted introvert and a... Would you say you are?
I am introverted, but when I'm with the right people, I'm really fun. Like...
So I'd say you're still introverted.
For sure.
Because I'm an extrovert introvert, but like, if you put me in front of strangers, I'll be like, the life of the fucking party.
With the right people, I'm a golden retriever.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just with everyone.
I'm just a golden retriever.
Just really like, but I vibe off of people. That's the big thing for me. So I vibe off other people. So if other people are like a Debbie Downer, like I'm lying.
Yeah, I find it really hard to be fun.
Yeah, if someone else is not giving me the vibe.
If the person I'm bouncing off with
isn't bouncing off with you.
Yeah, they're like...
It's a nice day we're having, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this song. I like rain. It's that kind of vibe.
Yeah. So how do you make friends?
I don't.
I'm sure.
So, Joe is I make a lot of... Okay. I am quite precious with my time in terms of like, I will have friends at work and then I have like maybe a few like scattered people. But like overall, there's nothing better for me than to be at home with like
no one.
I feel like my kid and my husband, just kind of like, it's a lot of energy. But then I have this like idea of like wanting to have a friend that like can come over like any time for like a play day or whatever and have a coffee and a catch up and it's fine. Whereas like obviously I have a friend at the moment who's like my like mum friend, but like she lives further away, so it's not like a case of like popping in. I mean, it has to be like a planned like, activity. But I guess my thing is like a lot of people as well will be like at points in their life they'll look for friends. Like I wanted mum friends once I had Nora. Like I wanted someone to have that
connection,
shared experience, because I didn't have anyone in my life who'd had or like was having kids. So it was like trying to find that balance. So I was on Peanut a lot, which is like Tinder for mums. But then I quickly discovered that on Peanut, and in terms of meeting friends and trying to make friends in general, that I find it exhausting in terms of like, you could put all of this energy in someone and then you could find out that they're like a closeted racist.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Or like you put all this energy into them and they're an anti-vaxxer. And not like an anti-COVID vaxxer, like they're anti-vaccine, they're anti-all vaccinations ever. So their kids like itching with the measles and they're like, you could have done something about it.
I guess that's an extreme case. Would you not be friends with someone because they didn't like vaccines?
It depends on the vaccine they didn't like. I could be friends with someone if they were anti-COVID vaccine.
Obviously,
unless they were like, they're tracking us. And then I'm like, oh no. Do you know what I mean? But like if someone was like, it's not been tested enough, it's not been around long enough.
Yeah.
And you just can't really like decide. I'd be like, fair play. Same with like the flu jab, people could be like, it's an unnecessary vaccine. Okay, I get you. I understand that. But if they're like, they use all these vaccinations to track us and they're going to turn us into aliens and they're just morphing us into other people, or there's like, you know, they're injecting us with like something. Do you know what I mean?
So that's the big one, isn't it?
Because I also understand that with a lot of people of colour, there's a general distrust about vaccinations, understandably, and about the healthcare system. So I wouldn't necessarily not be friends with someone if they had genuine concerns.
Yeah.
It's the conspiracy theorist anti-vaxxers that I can't get on board with.
What are they called on TikTok? Like crunchy mums?
No, but like crunchy mums has two different... Yeah, but also those crunchy mums has two types. You've got crunchy mums where they just feed their kids like organic, like non-processed food. And then you've got the crunchy mums who don't vaccinate their kids, and then also give their kids. So you have like some country mums that will still vaccinate. I just have a thing against conspiracy theorists, anti-vaxxers.
Okay.
But yeah, so anyway, you could like put all this effort into someone. It's like dating, I guess.
Yeah.
Like obviously I'm past, hopefully I'm past that. Fucking touch wood. I'm like past that point of like, I don't know if I could date anyone right now. Like I couldn't
Find out.
But like, I am married. But I mean like dating in general, like I don't know if I could date anyone.
Yeah.
Like I think it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I have the energy basically I need another person to trauma dump and like information dump on me, so I get all of their kind of like information, and then they could get all of mine, and then we could just decide if it's like a deal or not.
So I highly recommend them starting a small business and then getting on Instagram.
Yeah, I could see how that would.
Yeah. Because I have met like.
So how do you make friends? How do you make friends?
Online.
The internet. You one of those, are you?
The internet.
One of those people who make friends online.
Yeah.
Strangers on the internet.
Yeah, the internet's a big place.
Dangerous, isn't it?
Well, I guess if you think, like, how many people I've met online, even, I met Scott online, and then I've made...
How that ended up.
Pretty good as we sit
Mr. Cameraman.
in our office. As he's, like, forced into unpaid labour.
Well.
So, I've met so many, and then I've met some of my best friends now on Instagram. I said some of.
Sorry. I'm your only best friend.
Okay.
Your other friends. You've met other people online.
I've met other people that I'm close.
You're my only best friend.
I know.
Did you see that, everybody? And I hope the mic's picked up on the disconcern in her face.
You are my best friend.
Took you a minute. It's like when you said, you've got other things, babe. You've got other things going on in your life.
You have got other things.
You're not just a mum. You've got things. You like things.
I'm not very good on the spot.
Clearly. Obviously shouldn't have had to be a spot. It wasn't the spot to be put on. You could have just left it and been like, you do loads of things, and just walked off really quickly. You didn't have to stay there. Kind of really, you put yourself on the spot on that one. You were like, you have other things. Poof. What are those other things?
You do have things.
Oh, what are they? What is that?
Do you think...
But yeah, I think you've met a lot of people online.
Yeah.
A lot of friends online.
I've met lots of friends online.
How does that feel, though? I don't think it really matters, does it?
No.
It's only when you're talking to the older generation that it matters.
Yeah. I think it's really nice.
If you said to me that you met someone on Instagram, it's not like I'm ever going to be like, ooh, are they really your friends?
Yeah.
If anything, they're probably more of a friend than someone you've met on person, because there's not that, like, weird having to straight away be a bit fake.
Yeah, and I think...
You can tell someone all your information on the internet.
Yeah.
And, like, not all your information. Don't send all your information on the internet. Don't send them your bad deals.
Don't put your pin on me.
But I think it's so easy to disconnect while connecting.
Well, you're...
in terms of, like, trauma dumping.
Yeah, you're like...
You don't see someone's actual facial expression.
You're hanging out on the sofa and you're just voice noting the wildest things that have ever happened.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah. And then...
And then you go, anyway, I've got to go make dinner. Love you, bye.
Or in terms of my voice notes, it's like, yeah, so then I was just thinking that. I was like, Nora, can you not do that right now, baby, please? Darling, I can't. So yeah, and then I was just, no, honey, I'm just voice noting, darling, right now. I'll be there in a minute. No, babe, I don't know what I'm making for dinner right now. I don't know. I'm trying to talk to someone. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. I don't stop it. There's a pause function on voice notes. Do I do it? Like fuck. You will get a podcast.
That's my favourite thing.
I have a younger friend. She's gonna hate that I call her this. She's also probably the only friend that watches our podcast at the moment. But like,
Your only friend.
yeah, my only friend that watches the podcast. Disloyal. But yeah, so
Because actually, lots of my friends watch our podcast.
she's. I don't think she's Gen Z. I think she might be. She's Gen Z. I think.
How old is she?
She's 19.
Is she Nora's friend?
She is not. She's my friend, but she's 3. I think she's Gen Z. I think she's classed Gen Z, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyway,
She's been born since 2000.
yeah. So she'll send me voice notes, and she'll be like,
Gen Z.
I think she's Gen Z millennial. I think she's an older millennial.
Presley's not an older millennial, because Scott's an older millennial. No, Tia's an older millennial.
Oh, right. Okay. So maybe she's just...
So maybe she is Gen Z.
She must be Gen Z. She's definitely acts like Gen Z. Love you, Fred. You're a Gen Zer. But anyway, Spitzer. So she sends me voice notes, and it's like 15-second, 20-second ones. So she'll be like, yeah, suddenly I was, yeah, and she'll get to the point straight away. She'll stop it, and then she'll send me another one, and it's like that. Whereas I send her voice notes back, and it's like 5 minutes long. It's a mess. And then she goes, ooh, podcast for me, personal podcast. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Most of it is just me going, oh my God, I just want to have this 1 minute. I just need a minute.
But making friends as an adult is hard. Not because of like, I think it's easier to connect with people than when you were younger.
Do you?
Yeah. I think that
I guess it's not a less of the caring about what other people think.
Yeah, I think
As you get older.
I think the hard bit making friends when you're an adult is like, one, diaries.
Finding time. Yeah.
Finding time when you've both got like a load of shit going on. And 2, obviously, like when you're at school or at college, you know, you go to like, someone's in your form, so you see them all day.
Yeah.
You're friends because you're just seeing each other all day.
Yeah. And you have a bit of banter.
Yeah. Whereas like then when you're an adult, like...
Seeing someone all the time doesn't mean that you like them.
Well, yeah, work. But like there's a bit of insecurity, isn't there? Like, you know, if you've got a work friend, the first time you see them outside of work, you're like, oh, are we real friends?
Yeah.
And then also...
I still class a lot of my work friends as work friends, even though probably we're actually just friends now.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them outside of work.
Yeah. And
But they're categorised.
the other thing I was going to say...
And like my mum friend, I've met her a few times without our kids. Sorry. It shouldn't just be a mum friend.
Yeah, it's just be friends.
I'm going to pause it here for 1 second. I just want to check if it's still recording, because I heard like a little snappy, and I didn't know if that was like a... It's still recording.
Come on down. And the other thing about... So you're going through hoops.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like my friend Simi, I would always see them for breakfast on like a weekday.
Yeah.
And then the first time I saw them in an evening, I'm like, oh my God, have we graduated? And then when I saw them on a Saturday...
See, I feel like it'd be the opposite. If I see someone during the week on a weekday, we're really good friends because...
What, you just give out your weekend to anyone?
Well, because like the weekend...
What's a weekend?
Well, it's because of like, it's not really that fresh, because obviously that's the only free time. So that's not really moved our diaries around to see each other.
Yeah.
That's like probably the only free time that someone had, or like the evening as well, the same time of thing. Sorry. But yeah, so you would schedule it that way?
Well,
you'd upgrade, like...
When they're a small business friend, the ability to like slot them into a weekday is like, oh, that's lovely. Because, you know, so many people work 9 to 5.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, and then having that little break in between.
Yeah. So, like, actually, like...
And then seeing them outside of business hours is like, okay, I see how it would be. Whereas for me, it's like, everyone's on shift, like...
Yeah.
I don't know, I think also priorities change as well, right? And then, like... I think when I was younger, politics and that didn't really matter to me. I had the privilege of not really having to care about that. And...
To what age friend with anyone?
Well, like... As long as they weren't a dick, do you know what I mean? Like, if they were, a lot of this, also, I had undiagnosed ADHD, so a lot of the time I just wanted attention. So, like,
Love me.
Well, kind of. Like, I didn't really care about the other, like, I didn't care. I don't know. I had like one proper best friend when I was younger, but like I mean, like I didn't really mind what they had. Like none of either of us cared about their thoughts, like politics and things like that. We didn't care who your parents voted for, or who you were gonna vote. If you could vote, who would you vote for? Whereas now it's super important to me.
Yeah.
Like and I don't want to be friends with people who are heartless, horrible people.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so that's another thing about making money. You can have everything online and even a work friend, like it'd be all good. You kind of work friends, you kind of bitch about the same things because you're experiencing the same things. But then you find out that, they're like a closeted racist, or they're like
mega homophobic.
Someone like stab Jeremy Corbyn in the eye and you're like, I love Jess. That type of vibe, do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Like I just want people to info dump on me. And like, because I've seen this whole Bumble Friends thing. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Does that work for people? I'm not going to go on it, but...
I think it's like Peanut without the children.
Yeah.
It's been around a little while.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, it's been around for a minute. And like, also, they've obviously been quite smart and they've moved away from it just being a dating thing, isn't it? Because people are lonely. People really want friends.
Yeah.
But equally, I don't really want to get out of my house.
I think for me, I've discovered that body doubling is super, super, super helpful. And so of all the things that I want to do, but I don't necessarily have the effort or energy or enthusiasm for, having a friend to do that thing would be really useful.
Yeah.
So, having
the same for me,
having someone that I work out with.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay, that's going to get me to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think not like friends of convenience, but they
benefit your life.
Yeah.
Same like vice versa. It should be that the person benefits your life and you benefit that person's life. Like, and I think this is what I find as well when I growing up and you like your relationships kind of like ebb and flow, right? And you move into like the next stage of your life. I now know that I can't have really negative people in my life. Like it really, because again, I flow off of other people.
Yeah.
And if I just have someone who's always just like negative, I just almost don't want to see you.
Yeah.
Because it's too much.
It's going to bring me down.
And I think what's easy about us having a good relationship is because our life experience, obviously we grew up together, so our life experience is kind of like similar. And then we have the added layer of being sisters, so you know that if worst case scenario, you're not going to get rid of me.
And we're really funny.
And we're really funny together. And we have a really good humour. But I mean, like in general, like as in if you took us sisters out of it, like I still think we'd be friends, even if we weren't sisters.
Yeah, I agree. We've got a lot of stuff in common.
I don't know how we would have met.
Yeah. I think...
Maybe in Goldsmith.
Yeah, maybe. I think increasingly important to me is it's not like everyone has to be like working class and, have this experience of like growing up in a London or anything.
Yeah.
But I have found as I've gotten older, I am drawn to people that have a similar understanding of how we grew up, growing up working class in London. Like, maybe my friends aren't all working class themselves.
They have that empathy or sympathy at least.
Yeah.
My empathy is for the life.
They don't even feel sorry for me.
No, sometimes they do.
But yeah, the empathy, or they've like rubbed up against it themselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it's about the world in general. Like, I think the functioning of people in general, like, should be that you aren't just trying to compete with others or kind of one up.
But I think that's kind of relationships for me in general. Because even when I think about people that I've been in a relationship with that maybe had a different background to me, there's just fundamental things about my life that they just don't get.
Yeah. I get you.
Whereas obviously Scott and I both have a very similar background. And also we've now been together so long, we've like seen the glow up in each other. You know?
Aww, that's so cute.
Well, if you think about it, we were both like like barely make any money, scraping by when we first got together. And now we own this flat.
It's funny that my relationships aren't like that. That I'm not alike at all. In like our humour is alike, which you wouldn't know because he's very private. But like our humour is like super alike. I love him. Tell the group. Very quiet.
He's very private with his humour.
He's very quiet with in general. I mean, but like he doesn't crack jokes with anyone.
Does he
apart from me?
Does he crack jokes in general?
With me, yeah.
Are you like...
It's all the time. It's really funny.
I don't believe you.
No, he is.
I don't believe you.
We wouldn't be able to stay together if he wasn't funny.
So at home, Sahil's making you belly laugh?
Yeah, literally, quite a few times. Got on video. And it's not just when I was hormonal. Because that was a wild time.
So that all felt really mean. Like I was being like, Sahil's not funny.
Well, I think the audience is going to pick up on that a bit. Like you're like, me and Scott and I's relationship is really, we just glow. We go, your husband's shit. No. Your husband is boring and not funny at all. Does he really make you belly laugh like I do? Does he?
Does he?
Sometimes, yeah. Not as many times because we just haven't been together as long. It's really funny. You just don't know this about him. Like any time that he's been around anybody, I'm like, if I didn't vouch for you, people would think you're just an arsehole. He doesn't talk to anyone.
He doesn't talk to anyone.
He doesn't want to talk to anyone either.
No.
It's not like he's going back. It's not like he's going off with his friends later on being like, oh my God, went to the wife's family. It was great. Like he doesn't have any friends apart from me, which is fine. He does have friends. They're just in another country. Mm. But it sounds pretty bad. He's a really nice person. But like we're completely different. And there's like, as in like even our like upbringings are completely different. So even though you might be drawn to people, sometimes I get really in my head and I think that I'm drawn to people of different backgrounds because I really have a lot of white guilt. I think about this recently and of quite a lot. I think also, right, like, yeah, you got like different points in your life where like you phase in and out people. So it's just hard to like really, I don't know, slot people in. And you have less time as an adult.
And I think it's like what you were saying, you know, your interests are more specific. You know, when you're at school, it's just your interest is that you're all at school together and it's the best people that you get on with. You don't
really have, like, everyone kind of has a shared interest on what trends are there or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I just think it's like, I think, just as an adult, you have more specific interests, more that have been, like, cultivated by whatever. Also, work life is so different. You could be a shift, like, you're freelance and you do pretty much 9 to 5 hours because you choose that.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't, obviously, if not for Scott.
Obviously, like, you'd have, for sure. Like, even Scott before was starting at, like, 11, 12 before. Now he starts earlier. But before he would get up later.
Yeah.
He'd start work later, finish later, and he'd be fine with that.
Well, yeah, before Scott started working with his current company, like, I would, like, and obviously, so we saw each other kind of more spontaneously in terms of time. So, like, I quite often would work in an evening because that's my natural rhythm.
Same as mine.
And I don't actually have to, when I first started, I didn't actually have to interact with anyone because I just often
didn't have meetings.
And I've come away a lot from that, and I do a lot more like one-to-one work now and work directly with clients as, like, you know, in-house support. So it kind of also, I think my business is probably developed in that way because I've, like, looked for work that fits in with Scott's pattern. Yeah. So I
think also just as well, right, like you were saying about like fitting into people's patterns as well. Like, you have to have someone that you can, like, you'll have different friends that you can see at different times. Like, you can have people that could be like breakfast dates, coffee dates, spontaneous play dates to me, or like you have someone consistent that you'd see maybe every month or Like, I have a friend that I've known since college, and we maybe see each other once a year. Like,
Yeah.
and it's always like, it's always great whenever we see each other, but it's like that kind of inconsistency.
Yeah.
But consistent at the same time.
Yeah, I have a friend from school, like, I've known her since I was 11. When we see each other, it's like I only saw her last week.
Yeah, same with
We
me.
instantly pick up the vibe, but I maybe see her like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, and then you have so much to talk about because you're like
Yeah.
catching up.
Yeah, you come away where your throat hurt.
Yeah. Especially if you've been like at a dinner thing where everything's so loud.
Yeah.
And like even that, I guess as well, right, is like understanding yourself more than anything. Like I know that certain times I just can't socialize that day, right? And when you were younger, you might not have been able to tell people that, and also you wouldn't have understood that was yourself. Yeah. Whereas I want people in my life that are not going to belittle that if I'm like, hey, I've had a full week, I really just can't today.
Yeah.
Or hey, I've had a really shit week. Do you want to catch up and get a coffee?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should drop everything for me and come and like, you know, same vice versa. But I want people to be understanding as well as like, and you don't get that in everyone. Some people want a full sociable life. Some people want very isolated or whatever. Even like priorities, especially when you have a kid, like it's so hard for people to understand what life is like with a tiny human.
Do you feel like you lost lots of friends once you got...
I didn't have a lot of friends anyway.
Because I think that's something that
a lot of people do, yeah. A lot of people do, especially
if you're one of the first to have a baby.
Yeah, and I know some people who have had that happen, where it's really like, because it is isolating anyway. Like everything's like, even people that have like separated from their partners in the first couple of years because it's been so isolating. Your body is going through so many different changes. Your brain is going through so many changes.
I know so many couples. Or I know of so many couples that have had their first child.
And then separated.
Yeah, after being together like 10 years.
Well, there's a whole thing about how you shouldn't actually make any decisions on your relationship until after 2 years.
I can believe that.
Because basically they say that your brain won't necessarily be back, or your body, your hormone levels won't necessarily be back until 2 years after you've had a baby.
That. And
I feel it. Like, I feel that I'm finally getting to like a normal rhythm. We're getting in the normal, Sarah and I are getting a normal talking rhythm. Our life is starting to kind of
chill out.
Relax a bit. Your work is starting to like move forward.
Yeah.
Whereas a year ago, or maybe even a year and a half ago, or whatever, it was all, money was tight, things were tight.
Yeah.
I was very much like ride or die, like Nora, to the point of like, perceived like slights would be enraging for me, whereas now I can understand if there's actually whether something's happened or whether maybe I'm just like exaggerating in my head.
Well, I guess also, right, like when you first have like a tiny human, even if you're, even if you've got a great sleeper, you still suddenly have this new thing that you're responsible for.
Yeah.
And
overwhelming anxiety.
And they cost money, and they take up space, and they need you, and they need to be touched by you, and that's all pressure.
Yeah. And also, again, like
and your life fundamentally changes.
Yeah. And like, even just, like finances, like your priorities, like as adults as well, your priorities now are like making sure you're paying your bills, paying your, like, your way, making sure you're not going to be homeless or something, whether you have a kid or not. Like, that's going to be your priority, is keeping a roof over your head.
Yeah.
Or just, unless you're like a nomad.
Yeah.
Which all for you. But like, there's just that level, like, there's priorities just different. Like, I'm not, maybe like 10 years ago, I might have chosen to go out partying over and like going to work. I might have like called sick.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No, I wouldn't know because I was a workaholic and I liked money. But I can see how people do that.
Yeah.
Whereas now, like, that's absolutely not going to happen. Like, I need to pay my bills. I need to keep a... And if you're someone who is going to go out partying all the time, we can't necessarily be friends. Or be on
just less common ground.
Yeah. Or be friends, like, where you talk all the time. Because it's just... You're fundamentally, your schedules wouldn't align.
Yeah. And I do think that you have different friends for different purposes.
Yeah, 100%. And I think
that sounds a bit usy, but it's not. It's not like, you know,
it's vice versa as well.
because you've got friends that maybe you do foodie things with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that are a bit more, you know, that are really into the theatre.
Yeah, musical theatre friend. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So
It's very rare that you'd have like an all-rounder.
that does everything.
Yeah, with you all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's just...
Just not human nature. Is it?
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're just hanging out yourself.
And also you have partners as well. When you get older as well, I think you have more serious partners where that person is who you lean on. And then everyone else is kind of an addition, I guess. You still lean on them, but for like different things.
Yeah.
But like you're supposed to have a partner that you're fundamentally like you live together, so you should like, well, for the most part. Obviously I'm talking about us like in a very niche way, but like if you have a partner, like that's
I mean, obviously your partner can't be everything.
yeah.
It's just not possible.
But yeah, I think knowing, like, being able to differentiate people and be able to, like, understand. I think mostly understand yourself is how you're going to make friends with other people. And then I think having things like Bumble out there and, like, also just having the stigma of making friends online removed will help a lot of people in person. And I think people are craving social interaction, especially post-COVID.
I think the difficulty of making friends as an adult is the being vulnerable.
Yeah.
Because it puts you, it's like it's something shameful to want a new person in your life.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing. You're like, oh, gross. Like, I want to be friends with you, but I feel so, like, uncool trying to make that happen.
And, like, also, like...
It's almost like wanting something.
Probably why it's easier if you wanted to make, like, mum friends or something, because you had that, like... there's, like, a reason why. Whereas if you're just, like, an adult and you're like, oh, I just feel like I don't have...
Yeah, I want a new friend for this thing.
Weirdo.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're weird. Why don't you have friends? Why don't you have friends that you've had since you were childhood? That's weird. Like, I just... Yeah. And, like, I just think the destigmatizing of that will be helpful for a lot of people. And I definitely think post-COVID it started happening because people are, like... They understand now how much human connection has an
impact.
Like, an impact in your life.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I think I generally think I make friends, like, in, like, an in-person way. Like, one of my closest friends was a customer.
Do you think you make fast friends?
Yeah, but I think I do that with everything. I make fast... I'm very, like, impulsive.
I make fast friends.
Which is why I trauma dump on them or, like, info dump on them first, and then they vice versa. So then we're fast friends because we've got all of that stuff out of the way.
Okay.
If you just shout ADHD at someone, they're like, oh, yeah, same. And you're like, oh, okay, friends. That's kind of like the kind of basis. And then also, if you fit into my life. So I have a lot of, like, work friends.
Yeah.
So it's like common ground.
For sure.
And then if you try to take me out of that space, I'm a bit like, ooh, but what if everyone hates me?
What do I say now?
What if I'm just a little bit too weird?
Hey now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 No, excuse me. Have those inside jokes.
Yeah.
I think also, I saw a thing recently that was like about being on TikTok and people not understanding certain memes. And then someone was saying, like, they were doing the extreme version of it, being like, oh, if you don't know these things, I don't think you can even be in each other's lives. But there is some stuff where I'm like,
well,
obviously Sil and I get on and he doesn't have TikTok or any influence and stuff.
I quote like, quite a lot, like, I'm just a baby.
Yeah.
And just a baby. And I think I say that a lot, and I don't think everyone really knows what I'm talking about.
No, they just think you generally think you're a baby. You're an adult, you know that, yeah?
Baby, you're 33.
Yeah, 100%. But, like, I can't even think of things right now, but, like, there's loads of stuff that, like, I'll say, or, like, even just trends that are going on. Things get in your head, so, like, especially me. Like, songs and, like, very demure, very cutesy, that's still in my head. And even though apparently we're past it. Apparently it's over now.
It's done now.
It's done now. But, like, that that got into my head a lot, and I put it in. And if someone didn't respond the same way, I'm like,
who are you?
So we're on different levels, aren't we? Different priorities. Apparently, you stay off of socials.
Apparently, you have some kind of self-restraint that I don't have.
You apparently do other things.
You have
hobbies? Because that is disgusting. My friend, how dare you have a hobby? Okay, scrolling should be your hobby. No, I'm joking. Everyone should have a hobby. But even that is a thing. Trying to find, like,
Your
hobby.
thing.
Yeah, trying to find, like, you're trying to, I think as an adult, you've kind of learned, you're learning.
Talking about before the battery died?
Oh, potentially like hobbies.
Do I have a thing? Did we talk about that on camera?
No, that was off camera. I think you don't have a thing.
I don't have a thing.
Off camera, we were talking about hobbies.
Might start. Our battery died.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. But like,
So sorry if you were really vibing with the first half and we got shut down.
yeah, we don't know how good our editor is in the moment. You might never have known this would happen. Who knows?
Who knows?
Because we also couldn't remember where we left off when it died because we didn't actually know.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, so even like hobbies, I think as an adult, you're unlearning the things that you've been taught in school and like societal expectations, right? And then you're starting to learn yourself more, what you like more. You're trying to rediscover like hobbies or whatever.
Yeah.
As well as trying to keep friendship ties because it's just human nature. You want to be around people, as well as maybe like trying to compete with societal expectations of like where you should be.
Yeah.
Because also it's like, is it possible for people to be friends when they're like on different levels? Like, as in like by 30 you should have kids in a house and do you know what I mean? Like kids and a mortgage and blah blah. Would someone at 30 who has all that be able to be friends with someone who at 30 who is, you know, still on that part-time job trying to figure it out? Because it comes again on like priorities and like.
I think so. I think it just, if you have stuff in common.
Yeah. It depends on your vibe.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I just think, I think social media is very like high and like influencing people's.
Well,
It can be really isolating, but I think if you have the right mentality, it can be.
I think I grew up feeling like friends was the norm. And in college, I had that group of friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, this is what it's supposed to be like.
But actually, there's a lot of voices in one tiny group.
And I've not had a friendship group like that since college.
Yeah, I don't have any good.
And that was like, 15, 16 years ago.
Yeah, I had a friendship group when I was younger as well. And then
I now have pick and mix friends. I've got
Yeah.
a friend from my master's, a friend from uni, a friend from
Yeah, I get you.
work, a couple of friends from Instagram. And then, you have a social event and they all come together and you're like, how do you know Saloni?
Oh, yeah. And then normally I'm the bit that comes in and ties everything together, being like, oh, so you know her from this. You know her from... I'm a sister. We all know me. And then we all just get involved. And I'm like, yeah. So you will know her because of that. And I'll have to be like glue.
Yeah.
To make it less awkward.
I guess I'm the glue, but yeah.
No. But they don't know you. They don't all know how they know you.
Next week, we're gonna... The title is... Am I the drama?
Oh, this would be a good tie-in to this episode.
Yeah.
Because, I am.
This is the segue.
Because I am the drama.
Well, I have tried,
We'll discover that next week.
I've tried very hard to not be the drama.
Yeah. I think I went for a long time in my life being like...
I was a drama for a very long time.
But I was that
was a
person.
nightmare.
I was like pick me mentality where I'd be like, oh, I just don't like drama. I don't like people talking about each other. I just need to stay away from it. And then I'd be like, did you see?
Such a...
Oh my God, it's actually crazy. Like that would be the thing. And then I'd be like, well, are you talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, everyone's just talking about me.
I think I just was a lot.
I don't think a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're talking about probably a specific time. But I don't think...
My entire 20.
Right now.
Yesterday?
Yeah.
I
get the... Yeah, are we the drama?
Are we the drama? Let's find out. So we'll see you.
It's like a game show. Let's find out.
Let's find out next week on Are We the Drama?
You're too much. Sorry, you're a lot. What are you? Find out next week.
Find out next week.
Like episode 3.
3. Okay. Love you.
Love you lots. Bye.
Bye.